Hello everyone, welcome back to botany class. From today we will start with your first unit, that is angiosperm systematics and biodiversity. So first we will start with angiosperm systematics. In that we will discuss about origin and evolution of angiosperm. So first let's talk about introduction to angiosperm. If you remember, in first semester we have discussed about algae, bryophyte and pteridophyte, while in second semester we have studied about gymnosperm and some sort of angiosperm. If you remember, in algae we have said that it is an aquatic plant, while studying about bryophyte we have said that they are terrestrial plants but they require water for their reproduction. That's why we call them as amphibians of plant kingdom. While talking about pteridophytes, we call them as first vascular plants because the vascular bundle or vascular elements was first reported in that plant. Then we have talked about gymnosperm. Gymnosperm were the plant which had a naked seeds, means their ovules were not closed by any type of compartment. But in all these plants, there was no special type of reproductive organ. But in case of angiosperm, you will see there is a complex reproductive structure called as flower. That's why angiosperms is called as a group of flowering plant. They produce a complex structure that is called as a flower. A flower consists of sepals, petals, stamens, and carpels. However, the number of sepals, petals, stamens, and carpels may vary in different type of flowers. There are number of characters which separates angiosperm from all other group of plants. These are the presence of vessel in xylem. If you remember, in gymnosperm, we have seen that the xylem consists of three types of cells, that is, xylem parenchyma, xylem fiber, and tracheids. But apart from this, or along with these structures, the angiosperm has one more cell that is called as vessels. One more important character is phloem contains sieve elements and companion cell. If you remember again the gymnosperm, it has sclerenchyma and phloem parenchyma. But along with sclerenchyma and phloem parenchyma, angiosperm also has sieve elements and companion cell. One more important character is occurrence of double fertilization and triple fusion. Due to double fertilization, there is formation of diploid zygote and triploid endosperm. Another important character is presence of closed carpel. As I said earlier, in gymnosperm, the ovules were naked. It means they were not closed by any type of organ. But in case of angiosperm, you will see all the ovaries are enclosed in particular capsule that is called as ovary. This ovaries after fertilization converted into a fruit, and this fruit contains one or number of seeds. One more important character of angiosperm is gametophytic generation is highly reduced. If you remember, in algae, bryophyte and pteridophyte, the plant body was gametophyte, while in case of gymnosperm and angiosperm, you will see the plant body is sporophyte. It means during their life cycle, these angiosperm produce a small gametes. These gametes undergoes fertilization and they will produce a next generation. Angiosperm consists of greatest number of species. There are over 3 lakh species of angiosperm present on the earth. They include annual, biennial and perennial and also categorized as herb, shrub and trees. The size of angiosperm may ranges from very small to very large trees. Apart from their autotrophic nature, they may exist as parasite, epiphytes, saprophyte, or even insectivorous species. All the angiospermic plants are classified into two major groups, that is, dicotyledons and monocotyledons. They are simply called as dicots or monocots. There are major differences between dicots and monocots. In dicot, number of cotyledons are 2, while in monocot, number of cotyledon is 1. In dicot, leaf mostly has a reticulate venation, while in monocot, leaves mostly has a parallel venation. In dicot, again possess a taproot system, while in monocot, there is adventitious root system. Again, in dicot, vascular bundle in stem are usually in ring, while in monocot, vascular bundle in stem is usually scattered. Again, in dicot, cambium is usually present, while in monocot, cambium is usually absent. In dicot, floral parts are in the set of 5. It means they have 5 calyx, 5 corolla, 5 stamens, or they may have 5 carpels. But in monocot, floral parts are in set of 3. It means they may have 3 sepals, 3 petals, or 6 sepals, 6 petals, etc. Again, in dicot, pollen generally triaperturate, while in monocot, the pollen generally has uniaperturate. It means in dicot, there are 3 openings, while in monocot, a pollen grain has only a single opening. Now we will talk about an important topic, that is origin and evolution of angiosperm. The available fossil records show that the angiosperm originated roughly 165 million years ago. Their origin is found in Mesozoic era, probably in the Jurassic period. But the actual origin or true relationship of this large group of plants is still very unclear. There is a question that whether the angiosperm are monophyletic or polyphyletic in origin. Monophyletic is whether they are originate from a single ancestor or whether they are originated from the number of ancestors or different ancestors, that is called as polyphyletic origin. Many phylogeneticists like Figure, Dahlgren, and number of others believe that angiosperms are monophyletic in origin, that is, they have originated from single ancestor at the same time in the past. They believe so because present-day angiosperm shows remarkable consistency in their characters like uniform staminal structure, unique endothelial layer of anther wall, double fertilization, formation of triploid endosperm, presence of vessel in xylem, and sieve tubes in phloem, while number of phytogeneticists like Ames, Cronquist, Meius, Krasilov, and number of others believe that the angiosperms are polyphyletic in origin, that is, dicot and monocot originate at different type from different ancestral stock and attained the present status through the parallel or convergent evolution. There are number of theories to explain origin and evolution of angiosperm. Among these are Isoetes monocotyledon theory, Pteridospermian theory, Chitoniel's theory, Glossopteridian theory, Benedictilian theory, Coniferous amentifery theory, Natal's angiosperm theory, Pentoxylin theory, and many more. But according to your syllabus, we will talk about pteridospermian theory and Benny-Titelian theory. So first, we will talk about Benny-Titelian theory. This theory was proposed by Sapota and Marian, while it was supported by Arber and Parkins. The Benedictines are supposed to be the ancestors of angiosperm because of the resemblance in structure between the strobilus of Cycadioidea and the flower of Magnolia. There are some similarities between the flower of Magnolia and strobilus of Cycadioidea. These similarities are both are bisexual, that is, male and female gametes are present on same flower or same plant. Both Strobilus of Cycadioidea and flower of Magnolia has elongated axis. Both have protective bracts. In case of Cycadioidea, there are scaly bracts, while in case of Magnolia, there are perianth. Microsporophyll and megasporophylls are arranged successively on the flower. But apart from these few similarities, there is a large difference between the flower of Magnolia and Strobilus of Cycadioidea. These differences are Magnolia stamens are free and arranged spirally, but in case of Benititles, they are whorled. Here you can see the Magnolia stamens are free and arranged spirally around the carpel, while in case of Benititles, you will see the stamens are in the form of whorl. One more difference is Benititilian microsporophyll is large as compared to the stamens of Magnolia. The megasporophylls of Benititles are much reduced and enclosed in this particular structure. They have a stalk bearing ovules at its apex. They are also surrounded by number of sterile scales. But in case of Magnolia, you will not see any type of structure which surrounds the ovules. In case of Benititles, you will see there is presence of micropylar tube in ovule, but in angiosperm, no such micropylar tube is found in the carpel. Instead, the pollen grains are caught by the stigma. The Benedictine seeds are entirely different from the primitive angiosperm in being exalbuminous, that is, the embryo itself filling almost all the seed cavity, and nutritive tissues being entirely absent or very scanty. Because of these dissimilarities, the Benedictine theory was entirely rejected and assumed that Benedictines cannot be the ancestors of angiosperms. One more theory which shows origin and evolution of angiosperm is pteridospermian theory. This theory was proposed by Long in 1966. The pteridosperms or seed ferns were considered as ancestors of angiosperm by Long. He proposed this theory on the basis of following characters, that is, presence of reticulate venation in pteridosperm as well as in angiosperms, presence of monopodial branching, that is, one branch form a number of branches, presence of cambium, that is, there is a secondary growth. One more character is presence of microsporophylls and megasporophylls on the same plant, that is, these plants are bisexual. Another character is origin of sepals from leaves and petals from the sepals and stamens. Another character is similarity in seed structure. The number of characters of Glossopteris are similar to angiosperms. These characters are presence of a reticulate venation in leaves and presence of a particular midrib. These characters shows the Glossopteris may be the ancestor of angiosperm. Chitonales is one of the order of Pteridosperm, which shows some characters similar to angiosperm. These characters are presence of curved capsule with a stalk orthotropous ovule. This type of ovule is also found in present-day angiosperm. Reticulate venation in leaves, development of abscission layer between the number of structure of chitoneals. The abscission layer is a part where it detaches from the main part. Presence of microsporophylls possessing tetralocular synangium. This theory was also rejected because of some following characters. These characters are scalariform xylem elements never occurred in pteridosperm, while these are common in angiosperm. Another character is no satisfactory explanation was given about the capsule. On the basis of these objections, this theory was also rejected, but ultimately it was supported by a number of phylogeneticists like Andrew, Arnold, Thomas, Cronquist, and number of other. On the basis of number of similarities, the chitoneals or pteridosperm may be the probable ancestor of angiosperm. So it is all about origin and evolution of angiosperm. In next class, we will discuss about botanical nomenclature. So thank you very much.